Hello and welcome to the Humboldt Network of Family Resource Centers tutorial on how to enter quarterly report data into the new DHHS FRC reporting forms through the HNFRC Google Apps system. In order to do reporting going forward, you must be logged into your @hnfrc.org account. If your site knows your account, go ahead and log in now. If your site does not know your account, or if you don't remember your password and you can't log in, please reach out to me, Mark, and I will help you either establish an account for your site or for your staff, or help you get your password figured out. Let's assume that we've accomplished that process, and we're going to take the next step. First thing you'll do is you'll enter Gmail, and you will log into your @hnfrc.org account. So here I am, outreach@hnfrc.org. I enter my password, I hit next. At this point, I've entered Gmail. Now, if your account has been set up before September 12th of this year, which most of us have, then you will see an email dated on September 12th, which is from the Humboldt Network of Family Resource Centers admin, and the subject line, HNFRC, DHHS reporting, and PFS invitation to view. I'm hovering over that email now. So again, you can search for September 12th. Once you've found that email, go ahead and enter it. And again, if your account was set up after September 12th, you may have to ask for this email specifically from the admin myself. So please go ahead and do that. We've entered that email, and it says HNFRC admin has invited you to view the following shared folder: HNFRC, DHHS, reporting, and PFS. We will hit open. We are now in the reporting folder that we will be using for future quarterly reports. Before we get to what's in here, the first thing I want us to do is hover over the very top here, and we will click on this drop down right where it says our DHHS reporting and PFS. And we'll want to scan through here and click Add to My Drive. What this does is this makes the folder accessible from your root drive, which means that if now I navigate to my drive directly, here's my quarterly reporting folder, so I don't have to go hunting through my email each time. Let's go ahead and re-enter that folder. So what we'll see in here are a couple things. One, this is going to be our Word document as the basis for our informed consent statement. We'll also see our demographics questionnaire. And we will also see our protective factor survey with 20 questions. Those are PDFs, download, print, have people fill out on paper. We'll also look at these purple iconed files, which are our quarterly reporting surveys. So we see here the CalFresh quarterly report form. Down here, the CalWorks quarterly report form, CWS quarterly report form, and then finally the HNFRC protective factor survey, which is the survey tool that we will use to enter the data that we retrieve from the paper surveys the clients take. We'll also see some Google Sheets files. These have the green icons. These are simply where responses are gathered from when you submit a survey. And so these files will be used by our coordinator and by our data team in order to build our quarterly and annual reports. These are not files that you need to concern yourself with immediately, although you can always check them later to make sure that your survey response was entered. And there's a lot of ways to double check that. What we'll do today is we'll take a sample report, and we're going to enter the CWS quarterly report. Opening up that file, we'll see a little bit of general info, when the quarterly reports are due and what timelines they cover, and then we'll immediately get into some questions. You'll see with any question like this one, organization name, you might see a red asterisk next to that. That means that that's a required question, which means that you have to fill that out in some regard before you can submit your survey. So for this one, I have a drop-down menu, and I'll choose my site. Fiscal year, quarterly reporting cycle, in this case, quarter one. My name is a point of contact. Phone number, and again, this is going to be a little picky, so watch. If I try to enter a letter or something that wouldn't follow the format that it asks me to use, it won't accept it, and it'll highlight red. So it's asking me for 3 numbers, the area code, by 3 numbers, followed by the last part of the phone number. And there we go. You see the red box goes away. I'm good to go on to the next question. Here we've got number of DR referrals received. This is a numerical answer, again, a required question based on the asterisks. and again, requires me to submit a whole number. So I can't submit a fraction, I can't submit a letter. You can enter a number like 2, if you got 2 of those. For another one of these questions with a numerical answer, let's say you had 0 referrals sent to a different FRC, please enter a 0, don't just leave that blank. And it will require you to put an answer in there. So if it's a 0, enter 0. Click along here. Other questions that you may come across are questions that ask you to either do multiple choice and check one answer, or check all that apply. This is an example of a checkbox one where we can check all that apply. And so you'll read through and you'll click the ones that pertain based on the question. And then toward the end here, you'll occasionally see a question that says something like open narrative, and it may have an asterisk and it may not. In this case, it doesn't have an asterisk, which means that technically this one's optional. If I want to answer it, I can. And this one I can answer in paragraph format with line breaks. Once you've filled out your survey completely, you will hit submit. Now, if you hit submit and it kicks you to the top of the page, chances are good it's because you didn't fill out something that was required, or because you filled out something that was required incorrectly. So you'll have to go back through, check for those highlighted in red questions, and make sure that all of your questions say you are good to go. It looks like I'm good to go in this case, so I will hit submit. And that is having submitted a quarterly report form. Your response has been recorded. If we say, oh goodness, I did something wrong, I need to edit it, you can click right here and edit your response. If for any reason you're submitting 2 quarterly report forms for the same thing at a time, which is pretty unlikely, you could just go back to the file and submit another response. The other way to go about that, and I'm going to close out of this right now, would be to simply go back to the quarterly report form within your folder, click on it again, open it up, and now we have a fresh survey form. Something that you might be asking is, okay, well, I submitted my answer, but how do I get a record of that? Great question. Once you've submitted your form, it'll automatically email your HNFRC account a copy of your answer. So we'll go back to our inbox, and here we go. It's 10:06 a.m. I just submitted my form, and now I've got an email from Google Forms that says, thanks for filling out HNFRC form. Let's click on that. This is a copy, hard copy for your record, of the answers that you submitted in your quarterly report form. And you can save that for your record. If I see anything wrong in there, I can go through this email and also click edit my response, and then resubmit the form with the correct answers, and it'll automatically update, and also send you an email to confirm the new response that you've entered. Going back here, you can also do those surveys for protective factors, CalWORKS, CalFresh, you name it. Each one's laid out slightly differently, but the general format is the same. You'll do some drop-down menus, you'll enter some numbers, you'll have some things that you check one box, you'll have some things that you check multiple boxes. You might enter a narrative in some part, an open format, you name it, and it'll guide you through the process. If you have any questions or things come up while filling out these surveys, please feel free to reach out to me, Mark, or Taffy, the coordinator, or the data committee, and we will be happy to follow up with you. Thank you very much, and good luck with your